Hi, Penny. Hey, y'all. What's up? Well, let me get some more people on here first. Well, see, some of y'all didn't know him. My old people who follow me knew who he was. I gotta wait till I get some people. I don't know if anybody on here that would. I don't think any of y'all would know him. Only people that would know him are those who've been following me like a long, long time. I'm gonna talk about him in a minute. I'll wait till some more people come on here. It must be cold outside. I looked outside. I see my neighbors out there smoking with their coats on, so it must be cold out there. Uh, when I got the phone call this morning, I knew something was wrong because Johnny called me early this morning. I said, "Who died?" And he told me Alan. I'll tell y'all who he. I'm gonna tell y'all who he is in a minute. Just give me a second. Ooh, it's almost time to get my hair done, get it fixed, get it together, and get ready to get out of here. Oh boy. Oh. When I got the phone call this morning, I didn't want to do nothing, just lay in bed. I hate hearing about people dying. Well, all right. So Alan he was a school teacher principal, and he was really cool guy. He's really a cool guy. Alan was older than Johnny, older than me, but he wasn't as old as my mom. But he had a lot of health complications. He wasn't a diabetic that I know of. It was weird that he said he was a diabetic. Hmm. But people who've been following me a long, long time remember that Alan went to my dad's funeral when my father passed away. Um, he he was an older gentleman. He was very nice. His dad was a preacher. I used to go and hang out with his mom and dad when I was a teenager. And it's not my family. It's not my family. He's not my family. He's just a friend. And 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 thank you for being a member. And he just I think Alan I think when I know when me and Johnny went to go see him, I told Johnny he's not coming out of here. He was in a nursing home. I said he's not coming out of here. He's just not. We used to try to get Alan being a former principal and a former teacher. You know, I never could understand why he wouldn't go get his teeth fixed. He wouldn't go get his teeth fixed, and he would. It just seemed like he just wasn't trying to get better. You know, and because I think to me, like we used to tell him, your teeth is probably what some of your problems is. If your teeth are rotten and screwed up and jacked up, that affects your health. But he just, I don't know. He just lost. Okay, so he lost his brother last year or year before. No, last year. His brother had a lot of money. Like in this little town that I live in, his brother lived in one of the nicest neighborhoods. Well, kind of like outside of our town, but had a lot of money. Like he was some type. He was some big rank in the military. And talking to my sister and my mom, they said his brother was like he had a lot of money and a beautiful home. And see, when Adam was getting sick, he would stay over there at his brother's house. Because when his brother died, his kids they got money and they don't even really care about his house. So I don't know what they're gonna do with his house or Alan's house. Because Alan lived in his parents' house that he was raised in. But he couldn't get it together. He just like I said, when me and Johnny went to go see him, let me block this person. Hold on. When me and Johnny went to go see him in the nursing home, I told Johnny it's weird because Johnny had a dream that he died last week. He told me that last week. Yeah, so he was a nice guy. He was a principal here, and he was a principal and a school teacher. Um, he had money because I know one time we took a trip to. Oh yeah, yeah. I know we took a trip to Dallas one time, and he was like, we was trying to convince him to get a new car because the Cadillac he had, I don't know. Alan was at the age he had food in his car, junk in his car. I mean, this car just fully loaded with shit. It was like, Alan, we need to clean out your car. Because um, before my father passed away, we went to Dallas. We went to Dallas. I don't know what we went to Dallas for. I don't know if we went to just go eat or something. I don't know. We went to go eat or something. I don't know. Um, Alan, we went to the Cadillac house, and Johnny was like, "You need to get you a new car. You need to get you a new car." And he acted like he wasn't gonna buy the car. But when when we got back to Dallas, Alan lived in my neighborhood where I was raised. Johnny didn't, because Johnny's not from Abilene. So Alan was like, I said, Alan, let's go eat, because we always go eat. And he loved the Chinese buffet. The one we went to yesterday. Matter of fact, I'm not going back there more. I reported them. I'm gonna tell y'all what happened. So he would go to the buffet. That Alan would eat 7, 8, and 9 plates, y'all. And Alan was older than me. He could eat, he would sit there and eat and eat and eat and eat. He could really eat. So anyway, so Alan's like, I'm gonna come pick you up. Let's go eat. He said, okay. He came around that corner, that new goddamn Cadillac, brand new, baby, spanking brand new, 2020. It was. Did he get it this year or last year? He got it last year. It was a 2024 when he got it. It might have been a 25. I don't remember. And and so um and I just screamed. I said, "Okay, you got to go." See, he didn't let us know he got the car when he went to Dallas, but he got it. So it was always me, Johnny, and Alan that hung together. When I lived here, because I didn't live here for a long time till I moved home, but it was always Alan and Johnny hanging together because I left home back in the '80s, and then I came back, uh, you know, later in life. But yeah, he was a cool guy. He really was. I got to tell y'all some funny stories about Alan. Alan, he couldn't hear out of one of his ears, or he couldn't hear. Period. And he would talk loud. And one day they was sharing pictures of men's, body parts. And and uh, he was showing Alan to somebody. And Alan said, "My God, he got a big old dick." And the white people, they said a white lady in the restaurant said, "What did that man just say?" And Johnny there was like, "Oh my God," because he talked loud. He don't know he talking loud. It was so funny. And then he don't know how to use his phone, right? Because I used to always clean out his phone for him and say, Alan, you got to stop downloading stuff and looking at stuff. And so he was on Twitter, and he was looking at things, and he accidentally sent a picture to our preacher at our church that I go to. And the preacher got two gay sons, so he probably said, well, like, you sent it to the wrong person. So he had a lot going on. He had a lot of health issues. He couldn't hear and didn't know how to use his phone. And sometimes he would never answer his phone. We get so mad at Alan. He would not answer his phone. Well, his house got broken into too as well. And I used to beg him. I said, Alan, let me put a camera up at your house. I don't want to look at the inside, but you need to have a camera on your outside and the inside. And the neighborhood I grew up in, it was not a bad neighborhood. So somebody had been really watching him and watching his house, and they broke in his house. But then Alan had been in this house since his brother died because he was staying at his brother's big. They said it was a big, beautiful home. So yeah, Johnny called me this morning. Said he passed away. He passed away, and we was actually going to go see. Was actually going to go see him this week for Thanksgiving. But I told Johnny, I said, I don't think Alan gonna make it. You know, but he was a cool guy. He really was. He's so sweet. He really was nice. Alan was way much older than me and Johnny. Yeah, I think Alan was 80 something. He was 80 something. Yeah. But they say back when I was a teenager, they say he was fucking fine as hell. They say he was super fine. And he told me him being an older gay guy, he told me and he wasn't out like that. He wasn't out because he was a school teacher and a principal, and so he wasn't out. But everybody knew that he was gay. But he would tell me some stories about my neighborhood men, things that I couldn't believe, preachers and I mean, he older, so he knew. I mean, he told me about some y'all. I can't go into details because I never know who watching my channel. But he told me about married men that messed around and all kind of stuff. And his ass knew. He was older than me. He was in his 80s, so he knew all the scoop on all the men in my hometown. But anyway, yesterday, yeah, he was crazy. He was really nice. Yeah, he's very smart though. School principal, teacher into school teacher, and he I don't think he ran for into politics or anything, but he was very smart. Oh, he graduated from not Texas Southern, the other one up there by Houston, Prairie View, PV. Yeah, he graduated from PV, Prairie View. I got a friend of mine named Kilby. Kilby is the guy who's helping me with my comedy show in Atlanta, helping me find a spot. His mom is 91 years old, and he said his mom has never missed a game. She going to the game this week. Yeah, she going to the game this week in New Orleans. So never missed a game at 91. One of my sons was the band director, and he was the band director. When I say my son, y'all, I don't mean like my adopted or biological. It's just you say, oh, that's my son. I've been knowing him since he was in college, basically, and he's now a doctor. Fred, I'm gonna say his last name, but he's now he was the band director. And then I don't know what he does at Grambling now, but yeah, but he Alan graduated from PV. Hmm. But anyway, so when we sat down to eat yesterday, I was disgusted because I said I'll never eat here again until they fix this problem. I got the picture to show you, and I posted it in our group. We have groups here in my hometown, and I posted it, and everybody was disgusted. This is do I still have the picture in here? Hold on. This is the floor. Here it is. Of the restaurant that I ate at yesterday, and I'll never eat there again until they fix this. And when I tell you the comments are coming left and right, so it's a Facebook group, a West Texas Facebook group about, and you can post. Well, it's the dining West Texas Facebook group, and they talk about different restaurants where I live at and stuff. And baby, they are laying these people out. And I didn't really think about it because I hadn't been there in a long time, but we were already there. And I told John, I said, look at this shit. They need to fix this carpet. They need to take this carpet up. We only have really, we have three Chinese places that are huge here that people go to. This is the newest one. And they're gonna hear about this post. They're gonna hear about the post I posted anonymously, so they won't know who it came from. But I wore their ass out. They need new rug. Really don't need rug. They really just need because rug costs a lot of money to keep up, but then it also costs a lot of money. I guess, because people could fall and slip, so that's why you really can't have a bare floor because people fall and slip. Yeah, so you got to have um, you're gonna have to have carpet. Yeah, but they gotta fix that. They gotta fix that. So let me show you what I ran into, y'all. Look what I found. Okay, so this was when a friend of somebody took a picture of me when I was laying in the hospital. Remember when I was sick, February of last year? This was me in the hospital, and I was getting better. I think, and this was me. I don't know what day that was, but if you look at my right eye, that's where the shingles was at, and I didn't realize I had shingles in my eye. And then this was the day I was feeling better, and I was getting out. Right here, see, I was feeling better getting out that day. I was so happy to get out. But you could still look at my eye. You could see how I was, yeah, well, both sides of my eye. But the right eye, if you look real good, this was the shingles right here in my eye. See, yeah. I don't know how long y'all. Anybody been? Good afternoon. Anybody been following me? Anybody been following me since I lived in Houston? Y'all remember when I used to go to Denny's and go sit outside at Denny's and talk to y'all? That was at Denny's. That was at Denny's. I miss Dennis. I miss Houston so much. This guy was live yesterday, and he was in Houston. I said, I know exactly where you at. He said, how you know? I said, because I used to live in Houston, and I said, you over there by the Galleria? He said, yeah. This is my ex boyfriend that I was. Well, you can't really see him, but I had been looking for him. This you can't really see his picture because he's. But I had been looking for him, y'all. And you could take a picture of somebody and you can take a picture of somebody and put it on Google. Sometimes it can bullet, but I pulled up his picture, but he was much thicker, like I am. This is '09 when him and I dated, when I lived in Atlanta. And the picture that I pulled up, the information that I pulled up, he got hit by a car. But what's so weird is I reached out to everybody. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, I used to when I lived in Houston. Everybody that he was friends with on Facebook, I reached out to them. Oh, I know French's Chicken, yeah. I reached out to them and nobody responded to me just to confirm was that him. Isn't that weird how people be on Facebook talking about somebody that died and you inboxing them and you hitting them up and they don't respond to you? I'm like, so to this day, I don't really know if it was him or not, but it said his name, but they nobody responded back to me. So it's like this little young guy. He wasn't young. Well, he was young compared to me. He was one of our regulars at the club. He was a dancer and a handsome little guy. He was just really sweet. And I always would reach out to him, um, just check on him, see how you doing and everything. And he wouldn't respond to me, never respond. And I looked up on Facebook, this motherfucker was dead. I'm like, what? I don't think I don't think Henry probably wasn't even 30. I think Henry was probably 24, 25. So finally somebody responded to me. Oh, and I have a story time for y'all, something I never told y'all. And I was thinking about it the other night, but hold on. Hopefully I can remember it. And so I was thinking about him. So finally I looked him up and he said he had died. And so I finally got a response from his cousin or somebody in his family. And she said he unalived himself. He took his life. I'm like, what? This young man had, for the last I remember when I talked to him, he had two jobs. He worked hard, had a nice car. I will put up his pictures, but I don't want to lose y'all on the live. It just really shocked me. I'm like, and I asked, well, why would he do that? She said, well, it runs in their family with people taking their lives. Well, I know a family here, but the brother took his life and his brother took his life. So I'm like, girl, I can't. I'm not. I don't know what people go through, but I can't say my pain is worse than their pain because I don't know what their pain is. But I don't know. I'd have to go through something really, really, really hard for me to say I want to take my life. I just, and I've been through some shit, y'all. I hadn't been through some shit, but I just don't. But this one guy who unalived himself, the only reason why we he didn't have cancer, he didn't have a bad disease. He went to prison. His mom died, and he had vowed that he'd never go back to prison. Well, he got in trouble from his job from stealing, and so I guess they was gonna send him back to prison. He took his life. Ain't no way. 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 And it could have been the mother too. He probably was just devastated about his mom. We have a Chinese guy here. He had one of the largest uh, uh, wig shops here, and I think her name was Miss Chong, and they're very nice people. She's an older lady, and so you walk. She had a store. He had a store, but she didn't work. She just sat there, and she had other people working for her, and um, she um, when she passed away, her son, he was just devastated. He was you could tell you walk in the store, and we try to encourage him and tell him things gonna be okay, and we would we sent him we took him a card, and we go and support his store. And I looked up, and he was dead. They say he took his life. Hmm. And some young black guys robbed his house here about a couple of months ago, but he passed away, so I don't know who's living in the house, but they robbed his house. I said, y'all so stupid. Y'all know they got cameras everywhere. Child, you can't do shit these days without, it's like I just saw something on Facebook. I think it happened in Houston. This Mexican family, the stepfather got on the son because his grades were bad. And this fool decided to put on Facebook, put a bullet in a gun and showed on Facebook that some about retaliation. He mad at the stepfather because he trying to tell him to do the right thing. And they filed a report and everything. The police came, and about 30 minutes, 40 minutes after that, the people rolled up and shot the house up. And luckily they didn't kill nobody. All because the stepdaddy getting on your ass because you ain't getting your grades right. And you know what killed me? Oh well, two of the young men were underage, but the other one wasn't. So they didn't say his name. I'm sorry, y'all. At this point in time, they need to change the laws. If you grown enough to go out and shoot up a house, we need to know who you are. I don't give a damn if you are underage. You shouldn't be doing shit like that. No goddamn way. What was that story time I had for y'all? I said I never told this story time. I wanted to tell y'all so bad. I thought about it the other day. I should have wrote it down. I can't think of what it was. Yeah, because they charged the son because he wasn't of age. He was at the age where he could be charged as a juvenile. They charged him for attempted murder. So he needs to spend his rest of his life in jail. He can get his degree in prison. Some people need to be made. Some people need to be made an example of. I want to talk about this, what everybody's talking about. Hopefully, I can remember that story time. Your girl Lala, that the trans girl that was unalived by her boyfriend. Well, it's all over the internet that the father does not want his son to be buried as a guy, but the mama don't care. But my thing is, if you was not in your son's life, daughter's life, son's life, it's your son because that's what you had. You had a man. He was born a man, but he was living his life as a trans person. So if you were not there and you did not support your child, it ain't time for you to come over there and all of his fans was the ones that was putting money in y'all's pocket because from what I was told, uh, the person who got unalived by their boyfriend was the sole breadwinner of the family. Now, when I die, I'm definitely not going to be buried as no woman because I don't live my life like that, and I don't consider myself trans. But my thing here's this: what needs to happen. This is for everybody, not just trans people. This is for everybody living. Please have your shit Wrote out of what you want at your funeral. Because once it's wrote out and it's in the will, ain't nobody can't nobody change it. But see, nobody, that person who died, no one ever. They probably didn't think they was gonna die. Didn't know that his boyfriend was gonna kill him. But you got to that stuff got to be, if you, especially if you're a trans man or trans woman, and you don't want to be, and when you die, you don't have no say of what they do with your body. Now, what the mom and daddy gonna do? They fighting. The mom and daddy fighting because the mama want the child to be buried as a girl, and the daddy wanted to be buried as a guy. That's some fucked up shit right there. Yes, he was born as a man, but the mama, is trying to respect, her son's wishes as very. I mean, that's fucked up. That's why you got to have your stuff. Oh, really? That's good. That's good. But I'm talking about now. This is, I guess, this would really be for the trans, somebody who's trans. If you go from if you live your life as a man and then you want to live your life as a female, or vice versa, you got to have that shit in writing, because your family gonna do what they're gonna bury you how you was raised or born. They're just gonna do it. Some won't listen. There was a trans who lived in Dallas, who went to this big church in Dallas called what was the name of that church in Dallas? It's a big old black Baptist church in Dallas. It's pretty gay friendly. It's a straight church. It's not a gay church, but a lot of gays go there. Pilgrim Rest. Pilgrim Rest. Yeah, I always have a will. A Pilgrim Rest Baptist Church. Her name was Miss Rachel. Miss Rachel was a trans woman. I never knew Rachel was trans until I found out later. They buried Miss Rachel at the church as a woman. Yeah. But I don't know if Rachel had that in the will. I don't know. But it's a hot topic. It's a hot subject. It's a hot topic. But somebody asked me one time. I know they was just joking, talking about, well, when you die, are your mama and them gonna bury you as a girl? Are you serious? My mama slapped the shit out of you. Say some shit to her like that. My mama had a whole man. My mother had a male, not a female, and I'm not trans. But that's a hot topic. They really going on. They going off on the internet about, you know, they called her your girl la 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 la, your girl la la, something like that. It's a hot topic. It's a hot topic. But you just like when Aretha Franklin died, there was no will. When Prince died, there was no will. You got to have your shit in order. You got to, because if you don't, especially if you're a celebrity, if you're a celebrity. And now my mom would honor the fact that they call me PT, because it's not a girl's name. It's just initials. That's one of the reasons why I chose that, because I don't want to be called. And if you think about it, Lala is not a girl's name. Lala is just Lala. That could be a boy name, a girl name, or, you know, but it's a hot subject. It's a really, really hot subject. Just right. You just got to have your shit in order before you leave here. And you never know when you're going to leave. You just don't never know. You just don't never know. So, well, y'all, it is a cloudy, gloomy day today. I haven't eaten today. When I got the news about Alan this morning, just kind of fucked up my whole day. Me and Alan were close, but I haven't cried. Chances are I probably won't make the funeral, because I'm sure. But these are the holidays, so I doubt. I don't know if they have. I don't know if they have a funeral while doing I don't know. I don't know. I'll probably be in Atlanta when they have the funeral. Hopefully, they have it when I come back. Um, yeah, he was a good guy. He really was. Man, I can't. I wish I could remember that story time I had for y'all. It was a hot one too. It's something I never told y'all. Yeah, see, yeah, Lala could be a girl name or a boy name. Yeah, yeah. I knew a boy Lala. Yeah, it's a little feminine though. But Mm. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if they're gonna bury. Well, just close the damn casket, shit, and just be done with it. But the father, still doesn't want his son to be buried as a girl. But if you wasn't in your son's life, you don't have no say. You really don't. And I think the mother has more say over your child than the father. Because him and the Lala Lala and the mom was very close. They were very, 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 very close. The mom was in her videos and everything, doing makeup tutorials and all that kind of stuff. So it's a hot subject. Hopefully they get it together and do it right and do what they're gonna do and just But I understand the father though, because he had a son. That's what he had, and that's what he looks at. But was you dogging your son out, calling him a punk, and because y'all straight man good for calling your sons punks and yeah, and not supporting your son. And I understand y'all. I know I'm not straight, but I understand. If I had a son, that's what I want to call him, my son. But that's not your life. Your son. Ooh, I knew it was something I want to tell you. I'm finna read the shit out of Boosie. Hold on. But let me go back to say what I said. I do understand. I'm not that far gone. If I had a son and my son died and he was lived this life as a trans woman, yes, I would. You won't. You just especially if you believe in God, you want your son to be buried as a male. But when your children grow up and they start driving in their own lane, you have to let them drive their own lane. You cannot you'll be miserable for the rest of your life trying to tell your children what to do with their lives. I know you want the best for them, but you're gonna die trying to live two lives. You just can't do it. You got to let them go. Always the ones that wasn't in the life that want to say something. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you gotta let your children get out there. Just like my mama, she wanted this for me, she wanted that for me, but I turned out pretty damn good. I didn't get on drugs and I didn't die back in the 80s or the 90s or 2000. I'm still here. So she laid my father and her laid the foundation down right. My stepfather raised me. They they laid the foundation down right. I thought I'd done pretty good. But you know, yeah, because you baby, you'll go crazy trying to live your child or want your child to do that. Just like my little nephew, he's tall, and he was playing basketball, and my niece, she posted on Facebook that she was a little hurt because she wanted him to play basketball. He might not want to play basketball, and you can't force him to play what he don't want to play. Then y'all gonna y'all relationship gonna get strained. And you don't want the relationship to get strained because his daddy is in prison, right? His daddy's in jail right now for child support. PT, shut up and stop pouring the tea. Okay, I won't pour it number one. I'm reading his ass because when he was a young boy, his daddy used to take his phone and pawn it. Sorry, bastard. It got kids all over the town. Got kids all over town. Yeah, you can ask a question. You act like you in school. This ain't no damn school. Right, right, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Child, they don't ever hit the like button. They just be on here being nosy and listening. But y'all can't hit it, okay? Hello, hello. Don't forget to let me tell y'all about Boosie. Am I what? RH negative? What's that? Hello, Lakeisha Story. Hello, Denise Jackson, Jermaine Northcross. Is Jermaine a male or female name? You said there are saying R is negative. Don't get certain things like. Oh wow, yeah, really? Okay. Oh, okay, Jermaine. Oh no, I know Jermaine, but it's spelled with a J. Okay, that's G. Okay, I got it. Ooh, my favorite artist, Patti LaBelle. Anyway, child, let me talk about Boosie. You know what kills me? How people use God, and I guess, well, no. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna say this. Okay, so Boosie is very much against the LGBTQ plus community. You know, he always talks about Dwayne Wade's child and gays and stuff like that. Let me tell y'all something. He was on some show, and he said, Boosie said he was a freak. No, he said that he was a freak, and they asked him, well, what's your level of being a freak, 1 to 10? He said 9. But listen, and I'm not here to judge, but if Boosie can go to heaven, good evening. If Boosie can go to heaven, being a 9 freak, screwing all these different women, talking nasty, smoking his weed, drinking, allegedly sleeping with all these different women or talking dirty and nasty. Listen, if Boosie can go to heaven, I can go too. Make it make sense. How you gonna how you gonna call yourself? And like I said, I'm not here to judge, but you say you using God all the time. God God did make women. He did make a man for a woman. I tell people all the time, I'm not stupid, and I'm glad we have straight people, but I'm not one of them. I am so glad God made a man for a woman because I wouldn't be here if he didn't. And I don't think that everybody's supposed to be a part of the LGBTQ plus community. We gotta have straight people. We have to have y'all because we wouldn't have nobody here. But if Booster can go to heaven for saying he loved the Lord, talking about how beautiful women are, but then all in the same sentence, he's a freak, he nasty, he like doing this to women, doing that to women, letting your son get HEAD by women and stuff. Come on now. No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I don't believe so. But you just never know. You don't know. Child, you don't know what these nasty men doing now. Just so never know. You just never know what these men are doing. They're not perfect, you know. I try my best not to judge them, but yeah, that's true too. You're absolutely right. Just imagine if all the gays were taken out of the world. Some of y'all would like that, but just imagine how the world would be without no gays. Because some gays do extras. A lot of them do extras. So sometimes I'll be looking at some of these queens. I'll be like, girl, y'all doing too much. Oh, y'all doing too much. I saw a video yesterday. This queen had this big old purse and this thing on his head. I'm like, y'all be doing way too much. But you gotta admit, some of the punks they do make you laugh. Some of the shit they be doing. I'm like, girl, yeah, just looking for attention. We be the first to just overdoing shit. We be the first. Man, I wish I could remember that story time. I want to share something with y'all that happened to me. And I said, ooh, I never told him that story. I just don't remember what it was. I'm trying to. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. Yeah, I thought about it last night, but I don't remember what it was. Yeah, y'all. Look, let me show y'all something. I know I ain't got no lights on here because I'm sitting in the dark, but so where's this light on here? So I'm starting to pack. Here's the suitcase here. Here's a suitcase here. I got shit in there, and I need to start packing. I haven't got nothing packed. This suitcase is empty. Ain't nothing in this one. Am I allowed two carry-ons? Yeah, I'm allowed two carry-ons. So I got a long, I got an Adidas bag and I got that bag. So I got two carry-ons on this bag. This girl right here is 35. Thank you, Miss Southwest. The death threw him off. The death threw him off. Yeah. But yeah, a little boosted, baby. If you gonna go to heaven, I'm going to. I'll see you there. Cause or we both gonna be in hell because you not finna sit here and how young are you? I'm 25. Allegedly, I'm 25. Can I tell y'all something? I am so proud to I am so proud to tell y'all that we did over 10,000 views last night. What was it? It was 16,000. Somebody go and look at the video from last night. Tell me how many views. It was a lot of views. Usually when I get 200 likes and 200 views, that's a lot of views that come through my live. Those are the kind of numbers. I wish I could push them 20 and 30, 40,000 views. I'd be trying, y'all. I'd be trying so hard. Oh, I'd be trying so hard to get them views. 20 and 30 and 40,000 views. Yeah, 14,000, yeah. Yeah, I'm allegedly 25. But if you go back, my birthday in July. If you go back and you go look at all my videos when I first started YouTube, I watched 100,000 views, 80,000, 90,000. And guess what? I did it with just my little cheap phone, and that's it. Yes, cancer. Yeah, but they're not viewing like I want them to. I need my views to be up to like 71,000, 80,000. But a lot of that is based on people sharing. That's what I tell people. You have to share the live. Whether they like it or not, you have to share the live. If you share it, hashtag PT's point of view and all that kind of stuff, you know, that helps. It helps the live. Like, I'm surprised I got 109 people watching me now. That was Johnny. He just texted me. Well, just always go back and rewatch it. I hate that I have to do my live like this with my phone like this. I prefer to do it like this. So I think what I'm going to do is because one day, well, it'll be when I come back from Atlanta, I'm going to get my camera and I'm going to set it up and I'm going to tell everybody, hey, y'all, I'm going live. Uh, oh, you are? Okay. I'm going to go live at 9 p.m. on this day. Because when I go live and I'm is, this is not horizontal. What do you call it? Oh yeah. When I'm horizontal like this, I don't get a lot of views. I think that's just the way YouTube has it set up. But if I tell everybody, yeah, but you wait till I do the call-ins and the have folks come into the live with what they face. But see, I have to tell y'all, okay, y'all, I'm going live at 9 o'clock p.m. and I'm gonna have people come into my live because when I do it horizontal, it doesn't work. I have to tell y'all so y'all will know. I think if you have a lot of followers like Tasha K and people like that, then it won't really matter if you're horizontal or not. They just gonna come to the live because you have so many people watching you. So when I come back from Atlanta, I'm gonna set up a date and a time so y'all will know. Okay, at 10 p.m., PT going live with his camera. Yeah, and it's gonna be like you can actually come on the live and show your face and stuff like that. Of which a lot of people ain't gonna do it, but you never know. Yeah, like an open panel. Yeah. hmm Well, I haven't eaten or anything, but it's some tea. It's a tea, the church lady called me this morning. She said she wasn't going to play for the church this morning because she said she wasn't going to play for the youth because the youth they be singing all these crazy songs, and it's sad. And she's one of the longest standing members at that church as far as musicians. It was her grandfather's church, and they pretty much running her off, and they already ran off the main musician because they don't want to pay. Y'all the biggest church here. You got to pay the motherfucking musician. Pay him. Give him give him at least 150. He's good. He quit. I don't watch RuPaul. I don't watch RuPaul. Um, and if I had a favorite, it would be Alyssa. Alyssa is the reason why I was crowned Miss Gay Texas America honorary Alyssa. Yeah, I don't watch RuPaul. Yeah, I don't watch RuPaul. I've been looking for some of my moderators to come in here because somebody got blocked. Let me show y'all this. But I need her. I wish she would come into the live because I was thinking she was telling me. Looks like she was telling me right here. Y'all. Okay, let me pull this up. Please tell to unblock me on Facebook or TikTok. Well, I don't really be on TikTok, and nobody really follows. Yeah, Lisa Edwards. Yeah, she's the reason why I became Miss Gay Texas America honorary. Well, that's why I try to stay with the time between 10 and 10:30 and 11. That's when I usually say that's when I'm going to do my time. I don't have nothing to do with the notifications. I think when with the notifications, you may have to go in there and say all notifications. I think I don't know. Mm. I will be singing those songs at the. Oh, here it is right here. PT, would you please tell the mods to unblock me out for Facebook and TikTok? Well, first of all, I ain't got TikTok and Facebook. I'm not on there that much, so ain't nobody blocked you on Facebook and TikTok because I don't be on there. When I'm there, I support and your lives enjoying the people want to support you but get blocked. No reason I can't bless you if you keep blocked. Yeah, I don't. I wish she pop up on the live because I don't. If you blocked on those two channels, it doesn't even matter. As long as you on YouTube, because I don't really be on TikTok like that. I don't be on TikTok like that. I can't stand TikTok. Let me show y'all something that I ran into last night. I want y'all to read this. And the black gay community will never, ever, ever acknowledge it. We're black and white down. The idea of black gay pride was originated by who? Y'all look at that. Who was black gay pride originated in Dallas? What's the name on that? No, because I don't really be on TikTok and Facebook like that. Do you think the people in Dallas acknowledge that? Nope. 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 They're gonna wait till I'm dead. What year was that? That was '97, baby. I came up with the idea for Dallas Black Gay and Lesbian Pride Weekend in Dallas, PT, and this was a magazine that it was in. Yeah, I came up with the idea. But you think them motherfuckers gonna acknowledge that? No, they'll never acknowledge it. And I sent it out. I put it on Facebook this morning. Share this and see if it go viral. They're not gonna ever acknowledge it. And I'm gonna tell you why I came up with the idea. So I had a son. He wasn't my real son, named Scotty. Scotty was a huge supporter of all the prides and stuff. And he'd go to DC, he go here, he was just at all the prides. And Scotty, hey Lavetta, and Scotty was um he's just a young guy. When he died from AIDS or whatever the case may be. And I told my boss, now we were having Grammy preview weekend that weekend already, but um okay, when y'all tell me to come somewhere, what the fuck was that? Scotty, you better get out of my apartment. Anyway, when Scotty passed away, I said, why don't we have a Scotty Pollock weekend? That was his name. You heard it? Yeah. It better not be nobody in here. And I said, why don't we have a Scotty Pollock weekend? Oh yeah, that'd be a good idea because he loved prides and but the problem was that we would have to get his family permission to do it. And um we couldn't do it because his family really didn't like him being gay because the preacher was reading the punks at the funeral, saying calling them all kind of homosexuals, and he went to hell. And I go, ooh, Church of God in Christ. So I told my boss, I said, maybe we should have a Dallas Black Gay and Lesbian Pride weekend. They was like, hmm. So even though the Grammy Preview weekend was always crowded, they went from 700 to 800 to almost 2 to 3,000 people on that weekend. That's fine, Robin. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I'm big enough to be seen. You say you're in San Francisco. Where you say you at? Oh, I would love to come to San Francisco. And but if not, you can come see me in July. And I said, why don't we have a? So we went from 800 to 900 to 1,000 people every Grammy Preview weekend, and then when we changed it, yeah, that's awful. I'm Koji, my pastor would never. Yeah, a lot of Koji pastors wouldn't do that now. But he was old school. He was an old school. That was a long time ago. Yeah. So I said, yeah, why don't we have a Dallas Black Gay and Lesbian Pride weekend? They was like, okay. So my boss, who's now living in California, him and his partner, they moved to California to raise their adopted children or whatever. Because he went and got some adopted children, two guys. Matter of fact, they're graduating this year. They're doing good, and they're grown men now and about to go off to college, and um and so anyway, he was the one that had all the money for it. He owned the club, and he was him and his partner. They had money, and they was the one gave me my first job in Dallas as an MC back in '93. So they had the money, so they started putting together, the idea. They put a magazine together, and they started advertising Dallas Black Gay and Lesbian Pride Weekend, and like I said, they had 2 or 3 thousand people every. It was so big the first year they talked about it on the radio in Dallas and everything. Yeah, yeah, he adopted them, and they turned out straight. Got girlfriends and everything. So, but they're gay friendly, you know. hmm But And so, yeah, no, they'll never acknowledge this in Dallas until I'm dead, and I hope they do. Yeah, and I need to make sure I keep this. I think let me see. Do I have a better? Let's see if you can see. Yeah, there it is right there. Let's read this right here. As Dallas Black Gay and Lesbian Pride 1997 approaches, many who have asked, why Black Gay Pride and why Dallas? The idea of Black Gay Pride was originally thought of by PT, the Metro's Thursday night MC, who thought of it was a good idea, and we just ran with it October the 2nd through the 5th. And sometimes I just want to cry because I'm like, and they know it. They know it. They see it. And they just won't give me my props. So after this started, that's when this white guy took over. A white guy took over, and they started calling it Southern Pride. It doesn't matter. It still came. It was my idea. I came up with it. I came up with it. And then after Southern Pride came around, that's when a guy named Kirk, who was my cousin by marriage, was a lot of people didn't know he was my cousin by marriage. And y'all probably remember it was all on the internet. Did y'all remember in Dallas where they had Patti LaBelle, Yolanda Adams, and Leanna Johnson singing for this? They were saying that they were singing for gay pride, but they wasn't singing for gay pride. This organization that they had was HIV and AIDS organization. That was my cousin. He was the one they found dead in his office. Well, he took over it and made it. mm, you say they all copy me. Mhm. And and so after Kirk took over it, he made it bigger than it. Well, when we the first year we did it, it was huge. We had Tony Terry, Black Box, um, Jennifer Holiday came. We had a lot of artists. Kevin Aviance, he was the house guy, the house music. We had a lot of artists. It was huge. And the club downtown it was on it was on Elm and Pearl. That was the street that it was on. And it was a nice sized club, but they blocked out all the parking lots. It had never been done before. This was before downtown Dallas is like it is now. It's like it was. There were no clubs downtown Dallas when we started. When he opened up this bar in 93, 93, 94, it was no clubs. I like to. I want to interview him one day. I'm gonna do an interview and have him on my show one day, and let y'all hear him tell a story about how I came up with the idea and what all we did and stuff like that. But anyway, when Kirk took over, Kirk took it to he took it to another level. Well, he had the funding, he had the government funding, the HIV money and stuff like that, and they were able to do a lot of things that my boss couldn't do because you know, well, my boss did what he did. Uh, Stonegate, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm saying there were not a lot of clubs downtown Dallas, not gay, just clubs, period. So when we were downtown Dallas in the 90s, there were not a lot of clubs downtown, not gay, just clubs, period. I'm not talking about gay clubs. There's a whole lot of gay clubs in Dallas since the 70s, but I'm talking about gay, just clubs, period, downtown. Downtown was just basically just down. It wasn't as booming as it is now. I'm not saying clubs. They had clubs downtown Dallas, but nothing like they have now. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know. Maybe you misunderstood me, but so when Kirk took over, we're not talking about Deep Ellum. And we're not talking about West End. We're talking about downtown Dallas. Metro was located, Metro was on the outskirts of downtown. It was like at Elm and Pearl. It wasn't really down. It was downtown, but it was like it was right behind the Sheraton. So that's not really that's somewhat on the outskirts of downtown. But there wasn't a lot of stuff going on down there besides Deep Ellum. But we were far away from Deep Ellum. Yeah. No, not. We're not talking about Deep Ellum. We're not talking about downtown. Wait, not really, not even downtown. Most of the clubs were in Deep Ellum, and there was some downtown, but now it's a whole lot of clubs downtown. Yeah, but anyway, the moral of the story is when we had the gay pride, we blocked out 4 lots. We blocked out 4 lots. The one on the far left, which was owned by a man who had a business, and that lot, the lot in the front, and we had the club. So it's 2 lots we blocked out. So we blocked the one in front of the club and one on the side, and we had the bar. So they had 2 to 3,000 people. Let me see, did it have how many people they had showed up? Uh, well, this whole article, it tells you how it started out. It was already a Grammy Perfect weekend, but then we turned it into I came up with the idea for Dallas Pride, Black Pride. So, but I don't think they ever will, y'all. But there's the proof right there. And this was a white magazine. This was a white magazine that this was in. It was called the Dallas Voice. I show this to people. I show this to people who run Pride now, and they won't never say, "Damn, can we at least y'all can give PT his flowers while he's living?" Like, and of course they might say, "Well, that was Dallas Black Gay and Lesbian Pride," but it tells you who came up with that idea in the first place. I did. I did. You think they'll ever acknowledge I was the first drag queen to do the Improv Comedy Club in Arlington, Texas? No. Mm-mm. Well, them nachos was good. I'm ready to go back. But you think they ever acknowledged that I was the first dude to fill in for a major radio station in Dallas called the Kid Craddock Morning Show? Never been done ever before. I didn't get no support from the black community when I went on the radio show. I did from the white clubs. When I went to the white club, it was a Saturday night. I had them announce that I was going to be on Kid Craddock, and they just screamed and they hollered. They screamed and they hollered. But the black community, they didn't support me. They didn't. Mm-mm. And I'm telling you, Kid Craddock Morning Show is one of the biggest things in the United States. Hey, Moondog. And it hurt my heart that they would not get behind me and support the show. But I did it. It's in my history books. It can never be taken from me. You know. And when I was crowned Miss Gay Texas America, which we have different systems, sort of like in the straight community, you have America, you have USA. Well, they made them change. They made them change Miss Gay USA to Miss Gay US of A. They had to change it. But we have Miss US of A, we have Miss America, Miss Gay America, we have Miss Gay Continental, we have all that. Well, I was crowned Miss Gay Texas Honorary. And when they crowned me that, they had to get the permission from the owners of Miss Gay America at the time. Yes, it was in a thing called the Dallas Voice. When they had to get the permissions, they had to get the permission from the owners of Miss Gay America at the time to even do that, to make me an honorary. I had the hardest time. They to this day they don't acknowledge it. And I think if I had no shade, if I had been a white girl, a black Mexican girl, they still have me coming there performing. And it was only one white queen that gave me the hardest time. Her name was Charity Case. And I read that bitch every chance I get. You racist ass piece of dog. You didn't even go and you didn't even go. She didn't even go and participate in the pageant that year because she felt like I didn't deserve the fucking honor. Well, bitch, that's not your call. If the owners of Miss Gay America at the time approved it, then bitch, you should say, okay, bye. You should say, okay, well, you know what, I don't approve it, but you know what? Let's get PT's props. Don't fight against it. Just give me my goddamn props and be like, okay, yeah, all right, PT, yeah, you know, she didn't even show up, and I call her racist every chance I get because people don't understand being an honorary has. She said, well, PT never won Miss Texas. PT never. Well, I was whenever I did the pageant, I was always in the top 10, and I made it to the five sometimes. I never won, but yeah, don't start with me. Don't you start with me because I think you that person that been in me coming in here, fuck with me on my damn live. If I think that's who you are, I'm gonna block your ass. Ooh, I can't stand y'all motherfucking trolls. I can't stand y'all. But look, um, you know, if they honorary does not mean if somebody gives you an honorary degree, that does not mean that you honorary. You can honor you can honor anybody. You can honor anybody. You get what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with if I won Miss Texas or Miss Gay Texas or nothing like that. That don't have nothing to do with it. I'm just being honored. Well, somebody came on my live a couple of months ago and came on here live and said, "Oh, I'm gonna get you booked at the 651 and uh, uh, do you know this person at the 651?" And I knew it was a fucking lie, but I just played along with it. But I just when you brought that up, it just I'm sorry if I just I just you brought up the 651 and I just you just sparked you just sparked me just then. So I don't know. I don't really never know who I'm talking to on here. But you brought up 651, but then when you was making comments about it wasn't no clubs, you know, it just kind of it just set up a red flag. You have to understand that. Yeah, somebody came and then they came back on my live and I said, hey, I reached out to 651, 1851 or wherever the club is, uh, well, I know it did, but I said I reached out to the club and they told me they don't have nobody, they don't have a YouTube channel, and they got ghosts and they never came back on my live. So it'd be some crazy ass people. It'd be some crazy ass people on YouTube, and I understand that goes with the territory. Just like somebody lied and say they wanted me to sing and play at their goddamn wedding, and I knew they was a lie, but I just act like, oh, I'm so excited. Oh, I can't wait. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? And I'm just just because I wear a wig and put on lipstick, I'm not stupid. I'm very smart. But yeah, the gay pride thing, yeah, it kind of hurts that I came up with the idea. They get. Well, one thing I give the ballroom scene, and I'm not into the ballroom scene, but one thing I will give them is they do acknowledge their legends, the people who came before them. I've never been into the ballroom scene. I never have. But I will give them that much. They do honor their legends. Yeah, they do. Yeah. Well, anyway, what time is it? It's 4 o'clock. Well, y'all, I haven't eaten. There's a lady on TikTok, and she's a MAGA black lady. I just posted up earlier this today. I posted sad. She just replied and said, "What's sad? You know what's sad, bitch. I ain't even gotta fucking tell you. You know what's sad, and I'm not finna get into it with you about it. You know what's sad." And you would think that with all of this shit going down with the Epstein files, you would think that these people would jump off the bandwagon, but we already know why they're doing it. It's for clicks, likes, and views. Clicks, likes, and views. I promise you, If I was to switch up and say I'm a MAGA, which I would never be, not even in my afterlife, if I was to say I was a MAGA, I would lose a lot of y'all and gain a lot of people just for clicks, likes, and views. Ain't no way in the world. Oh, they do it all the time. Tell you that lady, she came on the sheet. Y'all, I don't have none of my moderators in here tonight. I don't know where everybody's at, but yeah. Ooh, that sounds good. No, y'all, I'm actually gonna cook here. Believe it or not, I'm gonna cook here at the house. Can you believe that? Oh, okay. Let's do a story time. I'll make it fast because I gotta. I'm doing a show tonight. Here go my damn glasses I've been looking for. I'm actually doing a drag show tonight because I need some money, child. I don't get paid till Monday, but tomorrow's Monday, right? But I still need some extra money. Let's do a story time. This person right here. Whenever you receive an honorary word, right? And you're right about that. What you said about for life, and you think the Miss Gay Texas a miracle? People reach out to me and say, "Well, we should let PT come and perform." They don't. This person right here, when this person got fired from the White Club in Dallas, who gave her a job? This person right here, PT, because I was moving to Atlanta, and when I moved to Atlanta, they needed an MC, so I gave them this one. The reason why this one looks like that, because she did the character called Wanda. Wanda was her character. Moved to Atlanta for 2 years, came back. I did a show a few times. Then after then, she didn't want me on the show no more. And still to this day, she never puts me on her show. After I gave her a job because she didn't have nowhere to work. But guess what? She was at a club. She was at a club, and she left that club to go to another club, which I would have never done. Hey, she left that club to go to another club, which I would have never done because, bitch, if it ain't if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. You was working for this white man. This white man was taking care of you, baby. I'll do anything to go back and work at a club that I know my money gonna be there, and I ain't got to worry about. I worked for that Mexican man for years, and the girls tried to take my job, but he would not let them take my job. But this heifer right here, her day is finally coming. So you gonna leave the white man club and go over there and work for these other people? Girl, ain't nobody finna leave the strip, go around the corner, and go work. But her last day is this December, at the end of December. I don't feel sorry for her because you dogged me out. You never would put me on your show. And bitch, when you didn't have a show, I gave you a show. You was packing your shit to leave Dallas. And I said, no, let's give her a show because, she's finna buy. Let me tell you what else she did to me. Oh, let me show you some Spiller Boy TV. I said this earlier, but you probably weren't on here. This is something that Dallas will never acknowledge. As Dallas Black Gay and Pride Lesbian approaches, many ask why. Why Black Gay Pride and why Dallas? The idea of Black Gay Pride was originally thought of by PT. Spillerboard TV, you think they have acknowledged it? Nope, and never will. They'll wait till I'm dead, and then they'll bring it up. Y'all make sure y'all follow my friend Spitterboy TV. I know y'all know who he is. He got way more followers than me, and he about to do a cruise, so follow him. Okay. Well, he left he left a club to go to another club. I would have never done that. If my shit is right, my money right, I'm staying there. And I knew when. And guess what? The other club he went to was nicer than the one he was at. But people don't. They like going where they can smoke their weed, fight, cut up. But that other club wasn't having it. They had police. They was not having. They wasn't having it. They was not having it. They would say, "No, you're not gonna do this here. We're not gonna let you do this here." And so a lot of people they didn't go. So you know, allegedly he's retiring, but we know why you. And I know y'all watching my channel. You're gonna go back and tell her what I said. You're retiring, boo, because you've been ugly to me, and ain't nobody coming to your show. That's why you're retiring. But see, that's what happens when you do people wrong. Oh, real quickly, I gotta say this. I gotta go. So when she used to have, uh, when Black Pride was around, I'd always do her before I started working for this man. When I had a secure uh, drag show, when I started working for this man, she was still working at the white clubs. This was before I started working for this man that I worked for years. She was working at the black club, and she's working at the white club, making big money. Or we do her show for tips. Bitch, we lead a white club. We would lead a white establishment with $300-400 in tips, so we wouldn't even think about getting paid. She put me on a show every Sunday. She put me on there every Sunday. Guess what happened when Black Pride came around and she went over to, now she was at the small club. She was at the small club. It was JR's, that's what it was called. But then they also had Station 4. They had Station 4, which is the largest gay club in Texas. And they let her take the black night over to on a Sunday night. And uh, she 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 had me on her show every Sunday, but Black Pride, she wouldn't book me. And I'm thinking, well, girl, I'm very light skinned, but I'm a black motherfucker. I'm black as you can get. My inside is just as black as you look on this picture. And I said, and I asked, I said, well, why you don't have me on the Pride show? It's my show. I can run it how I want to. And I'm like, I never, and that's true. It is your show, but if I'm working for you every Sunday, oh, I'm gonna give you the tea I'm gonna give you the tea on. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna read New Orleans. You give me a second. They gonna get read too. If I'm good enough to be on a show every Sunday, why would you not put me on the Gay Pride show? And we didn't speak for almost 2 years because I just read her. Like, I know it's your show, but if I'm working for you every year, I mean, every Sunday, and you all of a sudden you just don't want, but she was putting big name girls on the show, other girls on the show. And then she was putting black girls on the show who really wasn't even about, I was the black community. This club that she had was after the big black club that I worked for downtown. So I was the black community. She wasn't. She never worked in the black community. She only did white clubs. Let me read New Orleans since you brought them up. So I go to New Orleans. Let me remove this out the way. So I go to New Orleans. Hold on. I was just in New Orleans. You know, they don't like to book nobody unless you've been on RuPaul, unless you're doing cocaine or I'm just telling the truth. So I said, okay, well, I'll go do the talent show. So the club is called the Oz. Big club. That's where Bianca Del Rio came out. That bitch is funny as hell. I love her. Well, when I first met her, she wasn't as big as she is now. She was just working at the club, at the Oz there in New Orleans. So I said, well, if I can't get no booking, then the bitch put on the makeup and go do the talent show. So when I got there in town, I went and asked them. They said, "Oh yeah, you had to sign up for the talent show, right?" This was the Sunday before we left to go on the cruise that Monday. No, this is actually Saturday. This is the Saturday before we left to go on the cruise. So The person that you had to get in contact with, yeah, I love Bianca. The person that you had to get in contact with, um, they say you have to sign up a week in advance. So you mean to tell me y'all booked up for 2 weeks? So you was booked up for that Tuesday and the next Tuesday when I come back from the cruise? Make it make sense, y'all. When I was an MC and I knew a queen was coming to town and I knew they were good, they might have been good on the show, whatever. I'm gonna sacrifice to let them be. I'm gonna let them do the show. Why not? Why not? So so that when I got back in town, they said, "Oh," so they go, "Well, So when I got back, I said, "Well, I'm gonna see if they got any space, this Tuesday, for the show." And they was like, "Oh no, they remodeling the show. They remodeling the club, and they doing something to the floor." Boy, I tell you, they something else, honey. They something else. But so I didn't get a chance. But I used to go to the Oz every time. Every time I go to New Orleans, because I go up there and do some strippers back in the day, back in the '90s, and I'd leave and go back home, and I hit the Oz on the Monday and won every time I go into the talent show. I win every time. Why are you wearing lady glasses? Because I'm grown. Why are you on my live? Because you're nosy. Anyway, y'all. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I guess I'll see y'all later on. I got to get up and fix me something to eat. Yeah. I was hanging out in New Orleans around that time. Yeah. Yeah. In the '90s. Yeah. Yeah, I was hanging out in the '90s. Anyway, rest in peace to my friend Alan. That's what this whole show was about. Let me look and see who this is. I'm about to block you because I don't know who you are calling me Pops. Who are you? Hey, cousin. Yeah, rest in peace, Alan. He was a sweet guy. Yeah. Well, guess what? I don't need you to be friendly with me. And being an old head is a blessing. I'm not young like you on crack and doing methamphetamine to come on here and say something stupid to me like that, and you don't even know who the fuck I am. So do me a favor and fuck yourself and stay out of my life. How about you do that? Matter of fact, I'm gonna help you. Hello, Dusty Soda. How you doing? Let me get off here, y'all. I love y'all. I will see y'all later on for the show. Y'all get y'all money together. I'm not gonna be up here all night begging for no money. Y'all, I'm gonna give y'all a nice show. I'm gonna look. Oh, we're doing two shows tonight. Oh, I'm doing the drag show and I'm doing the call-ins. So the drag show gonna start at 7. Okay, drag show gonna start at 7 on the dot, and the call-in is gonna be 7, 8. Drag show gonna probably last an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and then I'm going straight into the trolling, the call-ins. Okay. All right. I'll see y'all later on. Rest in peace to my friend Alan. All right. I love y'all. Bye bye. See y'all later. Bye.